Hi guys, it's Alexandra and Martin, and we're back for our next On the Couch series. Martin, thank you for joining me.
Welcome.
And we are talking all things co-living. So you've been with us for coming up to 12 months, and I know one of the properties that kind of most excited you about joining Gallery and bringing your key sales partners to Gallery was having access to our co-living homes. What was it that kind of attracted you and your sales partners the most?
Yeah, good question. I think when I came to see you and you started talking about what Gallery was doing with the co-living in general, and the way that you were doing it, it really just light bulb went on, and I was like, there's something that you guys are doing here that I don't want to miss out on. And so just the fact that you had already been doing it for a couple of years, you tested it, you tried it, you perfected it, miles ahead of anyone else that even wanted to enter it. I think that was one of the first things. The second thing was the fact that you could take a traditional home, you could get 3 incomes, and we had an end-to-end service. So not only were we able to create the homes, but we also had our own property management that specialized in it, that had become really good at finding the right tenants and doing the right thing for our investment partners. That made me really excited.
I think that's one of the key elements, right? Like, I think that we're not the only builder that's delivering a co-living floor plan. There are other builders that can build the home, but I think the thing that sets Gallery apart is our property management expertise around the co-living space.
I think it's definitely that, and I think it's the way that they work with our internal marketing department as well, and they've just really managed to optimize the way they do the whole thing, so we're able to do great marketing which attracts the right tenants, and we get the houses tenanted very quickly, which is obviously great for our investors. And then I think it's the Gallery approach to everything that I really like, is that we constantly listen to what works and what doesn't work. So the product that we have today is the result of just basically trial and error over 3-4 years, right? So the fact that we have a product now that has been tried and tested, improved, and is the perfect thing, as perfect as you can get it in the market, is a huge asset to our referral partners and to their investors.
I absolutely agree. I think that's one of the things that I think when I joined Gallery 6 years ago, one of the things that sort of attracted me the most was that Adam and Kim have never asked somebody else to pioneer. They've always done it. You know, that the floor plan has been designed and built by them first. You know, they understand how to tenant the property. They understand even what the exit strategy looks like for these properties. And I think that's another thing that, with regards to our co-living homes, that probably some of our referral partners and maybe the investors don't really understand, is how good the exit strategy is for our co-living homes and why that would be important.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it's that thing, how it all came about, knowing that Gallery Group had done a lot of dual houses previously, and people were happy with the income, and then comes the exit strategy, and all of a sudden they're like, well, why is my house getting less than the house next door?
Yes.
And immediately they forget about all of the income that they have been getting during the time of their investment, and they're like, well, when you sell a dual, it's a little bit of a different process than it is selling a regular home. And so duals are generally more attractive to investors, which means they're looking at a yield basis. Whereas what I really liked about the co-living home was that you're still getting 3 sources of income, but it's a traditional home with an additional bathroom in it. And so you're getting the additional income, so all of the benefits of a dual, but when you want to sell it, you're getting full capital appreciation. And I really like to be able to take that product into the investment market, where there's a lot of people that don't really like duals, so they're stuck with having to do a traditional. But as interest rates came up, and the more you can get out of your property, the better it is. And so being able to get those extra couple of hundreds per week by having 3 incomes instead of 1 is just a huge asset for clients, and it really helps with cash flows for a lot of our investors, and I like that.
Absolutely. It's one of those things that I know that in this space we're not meant to use the term set and forget, right? Like that's, you're meant to be an active participant in your investors, but I think that somebody who can afford an investment property, such as a co-living home, they're working full-time. Potentially you've got a dual income family, there's, children. There's not really a lot of time to sort of think about that additional property outside of everything else that you've going on. And I think the benefit with the co-living home is having those 3 separate income streams, that you've got 3 tenants on their own lease agreements with their own bonds. So when the house is at capacity and you've got those 3 income streams, after 12 months, if one of the tenants decided to move out, it's not going from 900 to 0, it's going from 900 to 600 until that 3rd participant is replaced and the income goes up again. And I think there's a lot of safety that comes for an investor in having that available to them in a co-living home.
Absolutely, and I think the other thing as well is like being in Southeast Queensland, where there's a huge rental crisis in general, and so being able to create a product that actually speaks to that issue that we have here and gives an opportunity for a lot of people that otherwise would have to live in a converted garage, or they would have to travel 45 minutes to an hour to get to their jobs, etc. So by being able to do single tenants, 3 of them within a home, in a housing estate that is close to areas where you have schools, shopping malls, etc., where the people that are actually working there, they want to live close to where they are, but if they're single tenants, there are just not a lot of options within that price range. So I feel that it's great for the investors, but it's also really good for a lot of people here in Southeast Queensland, that they get the opportunity to rent the co-living homes from our investors once they're completed.
I think that's a really interesting point that you've just picked on, because at the moment, right, there's a rental crisis. And so you've got people who are desperately trying to find an affordable housing outcome. But there's also this perception, right, that the landlord is this mean, nasty, Scrooge McDuck type billionaire, right, that's investing. But that's not who our investors are. Our investors are mum and dads who are looking to secure their financial future, their retirement. So these are just ordinary Australians who are really kind of investing in a way that is delivering a positive outcome for the rental crisis. These are if we look to the government to come up with a housing solution to help the burden from the rental crisis, we're going to be waiting an awfully long time. Well, this property type is actually making a meaningful impact or a meaningful difference in this space, right? And you were talking about where we're delivering these homes is out near schools and it's out near shopping malls. That's because that's who the tenant is, right? It's the tenants that we're seeing in these properties, they're not bums, they're not unemployed people, they're not people on welfare, they're not people that are looking for social or affordable housing solutions or are under some sort of government subsidy. These are, your petrol station worker, your Krispy Kremes. We've got a house at Ripley where we've put 3 tenants that all worked within Ripley town centre. I think we had Woolworths and we've got a hairdresser and an early childcare worker. So these tenants are actually employed, earning $65,000, $70,000 a year. So these are tax-paying adults who are needing to live close to their place of employment.
Yeah, and the alternatives that are available are really to either do apartment share somewhere where there is an apartment. But the problem with a lot of what's happening in Southeast Queensland is that all these housing estates, there are no towers going up. And where there are towers going up, you can't have parking for 1-bedroom. So there's very small percentage of 1-bedrooms that are allowed within a development. So it becomes 2 and 3 bedrooms, which are then you'll be priced out of that.
Yes.
The alternative would then be, you would have to then do sharing in an apartment.
And some people don't want to live in an apartment.
Correct, and I think one of the big things there, especially with the design that we have. So there's 3 bedrooms, 3 en-suites. So that's a huge take. That's what these tenants want. This is what we found out in the surveys that we've done. We got really nice shared living and dining areas. We got outside patios, this garden. We got the lockable pantries. So that's a part of the design that offers something that is really important to people that are going to be tenanting there. We got our automatic locks, our keypad locks, which are there for added security. So just all of these small additional things that Gallery Group are putting into the homes gives a lot of things that you wouldn't get if you were in a share apartment, etc. And so that is the key point of difference. And you still end up probably paying less than you would pay in a share apartment, but you'll be closer to where you work.
Yeah, so it's about giving people access to their own private and secure sanctuary within a larger home in a location that helps them stay easy access to their place of employment.
Correct. And that's it. It really, the way that I look at it is, it's almost like a 4-bedroom apartment in a key area where there is only houses. So you could look at it that way. So for the investor, it's a house. Yes. It's a traditional house with an extra bathroom. So you got 4 bedrooms, 3 bathroom, 2-car garage.
Yep.
It is a traditional home. And when you want to unsell it, it will go to most likely an owner-occupier that is happy to pay a premium for that house in that location.
Yeah.
But the way that it's laid out, it works really like what a 3-bedroom apartment would be. And so you get your own room within this house in an area where there are no apartment buildings. So it allows you to be close to where you work.